Okay guys, let's understand these lines in great detail. But before we do that, what about people who need smaller or bigger font? So let's set that in Visual Studio environment. Go to Tools, go to Options, click here on Font, type font, and there you go. Click here on some font you like, and here is where you can set size of that font. That's a quick setup, very basic stuff. Okay, using system, what that means? Using is a keyword, and you're gonna use this keyword every time when you need additional functionalities. What are those additional functionalities? In this case, when you say using system, that means, okay, I need additional functionalities from .NET framework provided to me by Microsoft programmers. So not just that Microsoft programmers can write some kind of functionalities, bunch of source code, also you can create your own external files and external namespaces, let's say. So here's the thing, in C# we're gonna use using to call something from outside, and then we're gonna close with semicolon, because every time when you have some direct instruction in C# and C and C++, you're gonna end that with semicolon. So in C# we have using, but in other languages, general purpose languages, we have different options at our disposal. They're part of those languages. So let me show something from my website where you have additional tutorials and source code. So see, this is some script to ping IP addresses that I wrote in Python. And here I'm using import. This is Python keyword to get additional stuff. OS is external thing where you have bunch of other options that you can activate. Okay, so this is generic name how to automatically grab everything that is external. So I'm using OS module, and in that OS module I have a system. In Python case, system is a method that will run TLS. TLS in this case, don't worry about that, but just means in terminal, in DOS, clear screen. Okay, so don't worry about this line, we are not learning Python. I'm just saying what is a Python way of getting stuff from external world. Import OS. In C++, for example, you have hash, include, arrow, and then IOStream or something else, some additional external functionality. But you must use these arrows, left and right. If you forget one of those, you're gonna run into compilation errors. So this is C++ way of saying, okay, let's get some stuff from external world. Why do we need that stuff? Because at minimum, we don't need to type much. See this, using system, here we have a console that is inside of that system namespace. This console is class. In that class, you have many methods, useful methods. So what are methods? Methods are like individual workers in company, and they are dedicated, they're specialized in specific jobs. They will do only one thing. So some workers can do something directly, or they can create half product and they can pass it around in a company so that other methods can grab it and do something with it. But let's return to relationship between system and console. Will this line work if I remove this thing, this line? And I'm gonna do that. You can do that with removal, like physical deletion, or you can use comments like here. So when you use comments, whatever that thing is not usable part of source code, of executable. They're just internal documentation. So / are just comments, and now they are not used, you just see them. Okay, now when I press F5, we're gonna run into problems. They were build errors. Okay, so see here, building project failed. That's cool. So how to correct that? Manually, which is stupid because you need to type a lot. Well, here you're going to say system, but now you need to do that for every instruction. So when you're calling some methods, you need to call not just class where that methods reside, but you also need to call that system namespace. Because again, if you want to use this part of instruction, and this is instruction because it's finished with semicolon, now you need to type manually that system many times. Okay, F5, and now we're gonna have 4 times hello world without problems, but because there is a 0 here. Okay, here program has exited with code 0, which means everything is fine. Okay, 0 is cool when you are building applications. 0 means everything is fine. So the bottom line, at minimum, namespaces are great because you don't need to type a lot. Because, okay, let's delete these systems, instructions, namespaces. Let's leave our 4 lines here, and now we are going to activate this line by removal of comments. So this line is cool again. It is functional when we create our application. F5, and now everything is great again, but we really don't need to type that system all over again. Right. What is this namespace learn CS? Well, namespace is also keyword, and with that, think about that as a border of some kind of country, and in that country you have some kind of objects and population. So exactly same stuff here. Inside of that namespace you're gonna have your own, let's say, source code lines created by you or provided to you by other programmers, but this is your own, let's say, custom stuff with your own custom name. Learn CS. Remember when we were creating project, it was Learn CS. So namespace Learn CS was automatically created. So there is a start and there is an end of it. What about these brackets? Well, C# is not Python, and you can really mess up this indentation and your application will work correctly. Let's create something ugly. Let's push this thing right here. Let's push this thing opening thing right here. And we're gonna push this thing right here. Now your code is extremely ugly right now, and that's cool because it's C#. It will work. Let's press F5. And there you go, you have usable result, but the source code is a kinda ugly. So some people like discipline in Python, and some people like freedom in C#. So yeah, it's up to you. I like Python more. I don't know, because I don't need to think. Indentation will get stuff done for me. Okay, so the people are different. But honestly, guys, when you switch languages, you're gonna need like 1 or 2 days to align yourself with what that programming language is demanding from you. Okay, let me test that one more time. F5. Okay, cool. Exited with code 0. Right, class program. Well, classes are like general templates. So based on that template, you can create individual concrete object. For example, you have class car. Cars have, let's say, 4 wheels. But you can create individual cars based on the same chassis, on the same 4 wheels and same base, but they can have big wheels, smaller wheels, sports wheels. They can have different interior, different lights, different stereo systems, different navigation, different engine specifications and stuff. But they are all cars with the 4 wheels. So class is like a blueprint. It's like a general basic stuff. So on top of that you can build individual objects. That's the whole purpose of object-oriented programming, and C# is a great with that. Right. Of course, when you're creating your dedicated source code, again, opening brackets and corresponding closing brackets. Right, so what is this line anyway? So static means that your application need to have at least one method that will be executed immediately when you run your application. So main is a name of method that will be executed immediately when you double click icon on a desktop, let's say, when application is started. So this is how you say, okay method, do something immediately directly right now. Okay, void, what is that thing? That is return type of method, because some methods can do stuff directly, like we have here for a main method, and some methods can produce some kind of results and provide those results to the rest of the source code. So the rest of the source code can grab those results and do something more with those things. So void means do something directly, no return stuff. And if there is a float here or integer here, that means that returns from methods are as results are numbers, precise numbers, floats, bunch of words, strings, different stuff. We're gonna learn about that too, so don't worry about that. So static, direct execution, void, direct execution, pretty much that. This is entry line, entry point of a application. Main, every C# program and some other programming languages demand main method, because the moment when you rename it, your program will break. Okay, so main is demanded because let me show that to you. Oh, see, you have it in listing, what is inside your source code. So the moment when you rename it to something stupid, when you press F5, you're gonna run into problem. Okay, they were built errors, and here I think if you click on error list, there will be, yeah, there you go, error list. Program does not contain a static. Okay, it's demanding a static method suitable for entry point with a name main. So this is why you have errors, and sometimes you're gonna have warnings. It depends what you do. So let's switch it to main to return to normal stuff. And yeah, F5, let's check it again. There you go, the thing works. Okay, so these are our own custom lines. Well, how many of these methods, and this is a method like dedicated worker in a company, how many of these you have in a console class, and this is a class in a system namespace? How many of them there are? Well, let's test that. Let's type console and dot. Console and then dot, and there you go. All these things down there are additional options in console class. For example, if I click here or type read line, this method is tasked to read line from DOS, let's say. And why do we have here some kind of strings and here nothing? Because methods are demanding brackets, this type of brackets, and something in it. So in this case, this is something that will be printed on a screen in DOS, and this method, and this is a method, is not demanding anything from you as additional perimeter. Okay, but guys, you need to close this instruction because it is instruction with semicolon, right? Because otherwise you're gonna run into problems. F5, and now you do have, see, hello world, but you don't have additional, if you remember, a couple of lines with explanation. Here you have diagnostic session, timing and process memory, and CPU, how CPU is busy. Down there you probably see this 0 because my CPU is relatively decent. So now, because of this read line, application is expecting that you will type enter, so it will continue with execution. So enter, enter, there you go. Now press any key to close this window. There you go, we are done. Okay, how we are going to run this script, not script, I'm using Python terminology, this real exe application in DOS? Well, let's see. Go here to learn CS, go here to open folder in File Explorer, and see, learn CS is a folder where you have your executable. Where is that thing? It is in bin. It is in debug, it is in net core app 3.1 because that's a net variant, net framework variant, and here you have learn CS application, guys, application, and bunch additional important stuff. So how to run this learn CS? Well, you can manually navigate in DOS, or you can just go to CMD and pass this application down there. So left click and just let it go here. And there you go, guys. Now press enter and hello world, and you are done when you press enter, because this read line here is demanding us to type enter. But if we remove this line, okay, and if we call our application again from DOS, enter, there you go, immediately execution, one enter, and we are done. So what is else interesting here? So here you have, alignment pretty much of your namespaces and program, and open in terminal, open folder in file explorer. Well, that's pretty much it in this tutorial. What else we can have? Oh yeah, so when you click on program CS is extension of file. Here you're gonna have a couple of things. So when I click on main, okay, so see these two lines horizontally, they will automatically relocate there to main. And when I click here on double click, now I can type exactly before name of that method. But guys, I think that we are pretty much done in this tutorial. Damn it, 16 minutes, almost 17. Sorry about that, but I was really, into detailed explanation. If you want to understand more about namespaces, classes, and stuff like that, go to documentation of Microsoft, because the documentation is great. Type in Google namespaces C# programming guide, and you're gonna end up here where you have couple of theoretical stuff, but the 2 minutes read, so it's not too much demanding of your time. Down there you have two additional links, namespaces and C language specification, where you can spend 10 or 15 minutes reading about theory. I advise you, if you have time, to do that. If you don't have time, that's cool, because I don't want to go to half an hour tutorial about theory. So namespaces are heavily used in C programming in two ways. Net uses namespaces to organize its many classes, bunch of classes, and then so on and so on of explanations. So yeah, sorry about long tutorial, but I really need you to grasp this stuff. Okay, thank you for watching. In the next tutorial we are going to learn about containers, where we will put the real stuff, real data, so variables and data types, cool stuff like that. Thank you for watching, for support and subscription. See ya in the next one. Right, I need to fix this error. There is no need for read line here, because this is not a target. We're gonna have some string, and we need to close bracket. Okay, and now everything is fine. F5, some string will be printed on a screen. Come on, it's a little bit slow, but it will work. There you go, guys, I have fixed it. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you for watching, and now really see ya in the next tutorial. Ciao.